Hi, Fems. Happy Wednesday. We are back. I'm so excited. Our Wednesdays always fill my cup. Today, we're going to talk about how to start saving and how to start investing. It is one of the things that I really want to focus on for 2021. I know last year was really challenging for everyone financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, like everything. But things are getting back. And so we're going back into that conversation of money and wealth mindset and how to save and how to invest. Our intention collectively, we all kind of did a little thing at the back in the back room, in the green room, is to help you start saving and investing money. We want to have all femmes live a prosperous life. We want to be able to be there for you so that you can have stability financially and then design your life the way that you envision for yourself. So that is our collective intention. If you're joining us live, feel free to ask questions. We have three amazing financial powerhouses here. So their intention is also to help you. So please ask questions. There are no silly questions. There are no stupid questions. If you want to post some love for us, we'll take that as well. We love featuring love from our femmes. And if you're watching this in the FemCity library, for years from now or months from now, we are still here for you. So feel free to reach out to any of us here. I'm not the financial expert. You can reach out to me, but these women are, and reach out to them. We are here to help you. We want to see you grow money in your pocket. We want to see you save and start investing. Just to kind of get started, we're going to go roundtable really quick so you can see who is joining me today. These three women are from our FemCity Global program, and we work really closely together. We see each other often, which I love. I was telling, we were on our virtual networking just moments ago, and I was telling them how our Thursdays, so we meet every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and how sometimes we just get together and giggle. It doesn't happen often. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time it's really good business conversation, but gosh, remember a couple of weeks ago, we just giggled for a good hour on the most ridiculous things. It was so good. Anyway, all right. So Carol, share a little bit about who you are for femmes that don't know you.
Great. Thank you so much, Violette, for offering this beautiful platform. Thank you. So I'm Carol Ward. I'm a money mindset coach, and I help business owners manage their finances physically and emotionally.
Love it. Dawn, share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dawn Santoriello. I'm a certified financial planner and founder of DS Financial Strategies, and I work with women virtually to help them reach their financial goals with peace of mind.
Love it. And Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie McCullough, founder of Sophia Financial. I do holistic financial planning with women 45 and up who are facing a financial future on their own and really need a true partner in decision making.
Love it. And Natalie made it. Yay! So I'm going to feature her love. Natalie runs our, she was running our Miami Beach FemCity Collective, and now she's moving to Orlando, and she's helping us set up a chapter up there again. All right, so let's just dive in. So let's say there is a femme who's watching this right now and saying, I cannot figure out a way to start saving. I have the intention of doing it. We are now almost at June 2021, and I still haven't saved a penny. What can I do to get started? So Carol, what is your advice for femmes that are looking to start saving but haven't really gotten there yet?
All right. So thank you. The key to building wealth is developing good saving habits. So the first thing is you want to open a savings account, and in there you want to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in case any crisis happen, pandemic crisis that we're in right now. And you also want to open an investment account so you can start saving for investments, because that's one way you're going to start building your wealth is by investing in real estate, in stock, insurance. And this is where I will point you to a financial advisor, because they will have all the tools necessary to review your financial information, and they can help you work through which programs will suit you best. But some ways that you can start today saving is maybe pay yourself first. So whenever you earn money, pay yourself first. Have that automatic transfer so that you don't see it, you're not missing it, you don't think you're losing out on anything. But overall, it goes in your savings account and it will accumulate. And I got to share another one with you quickly is this. Spend less money. Make it a game. So June is coming up. You could say, hey, how can I spend less in June? And I can already tell you from experience, I was out walking last week with my friends, and as a little reward, I thought I'll have Starbucks. Well, Starbucks is quite expensive. Each drink in Ontario is about $6 to $7 with taxes. 3 times, that was $21. If I did that on a monthly basis, easily $84. So be really careful how you spend in your money. And the last tip I'll give before we come around again is here in Ontario, we have highways. Some are free and some are paid. And on the paid highway, I mean, it has less traffic, really nice roads, and you get to your destination faster. But it's also costly. So in November, I was visiting my daughter in London, Ontario, happily on the 407. And when I got that bill at the end of October, it was over $100. Yes, Dawn, over $100. And I'm thinking I could have saved that money elsewhere. So this is why it is really important that we check our expenses on a monthly basis to see where are we spending our money. How else, maybe we could get similar results. Do something differently and you could save that money. Like if I went on the free highway, I would have saved my $100, but I'm still getting to my destination. So just be really intentional with how you're spending your money. Thanks.
Yeah, we did an exercise in January. I think you were a part of it, Carol. January of 2020. We did an exercise on budgeting, and the exercise was take how much you earn an hour. So let's say you earn $10 an hour. If you're buying a Starbucks and it's $5 or $6, think about it as how much human life you have to give of your own time to pay for that. So if it's worth 30 minutes of your life to pay for that Starbucks, then it makes sense, right? Then you're like, you know what? It was worth the half an hour of my time. But if it's not, you go, wow, you know what? I don't know if I want to spend, half an hour to work for that Starbucks. That's in essence what we have to do. We have to work hard to get those items. What is that calculation? So if you look at your hours as an hourly bracket, when you're going to buy a pair of jeans and they're $100 and you're like, wow, I have to work 10 hours to buy those jeans. Does it make sense for me to work those 10 hours to pay that pair of jeans? That way it makes it so that you can really equate to how much energy and time that you're giving in order to afford that. So that was a really good example. I remember when I started working retail in college, I was stuck with you're retail and you're working at a cute boutique and you get your paycheck and you're like, well, these clothes are really cute. And, making that decision, I was making $6.25 an hour. So to buy a jacket for $40, it's a lot of my hours I have to give to pay for that jacket. So it really made it make sense. You know what? I'm not going to buy that jacket. It doesn't make sense to right now. So watching what you spend is definitely an awesome, awesome tip. Let's go to Dawn. What is your number one tip for femmes looking to start saving and investing?
Okay, well, where they could actually find money is that they're already spending. I have 4 areas. One is if you're putting more in your 401k than the company match, there's money right there that could be redirected and used more efficiently. 2, how are you handling your mortgage? Do you have a 15-year mortgage? Are you making extra payments on that mortgage? Those are all areas where you could redirect that cash flow. Another area, debt. How are you managing your credit card debts? Are you following the traditional advice? Pay your house off and overfund your 401k? If you are, then chances are you have some equity in there. Get rid of that credit card debt by refinancing. But here's a caveat. Only if you're not going to get yourself back into debt. Because if you are just going to keep spending and charging out that card, that's going to be a disaster. So for people who are disciplined, you could free up a lot of cash flow there. And finally, look at your insurances, particularly your car insurance. Are your deductibles too low? Like say you get into a fender bender, but you have a $100 deductible. Are you really going to use your insurance? Why not up that to $500 or $1,000? So what I like to do is help people find money that they're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily and bring it back to them and make them have a nice, efficient financial plan. Thanks.
I love those tips. I know someone who does that with her credit cards. She will rack up the credit cards and then she'll refinance the house to pay the credit cards. And then she's back in it. Or I also have another friend who does with the credit cards. You know how you get like a thing that's like, hey, we've increased your limit and we also send you some blank checks. So you can actually now pay your credit cards and just have one, consolidate them, right? Consolidate it all under this. And they do that constantly because then they pay off all those credit cards and they think they've done a really great job. It's a higher interest rate on that credit card, but now they're all together. So, marketing wise and glitzy wise, it looks like good, but then they start using those other cards again. And then they're now in a worse situation with their debt. So I love that you mentioned that because I think that is such a common mistake. And we think that we're doing a really good job. And then we loop back into that scenario. And at the end of the day, we've got $100,000 in debt with all these various, and the credit cards, oh my gosh, the fees are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I thought of all three of you actually. There's a great series on Netflix that my kids were watching about money. And and I can't remember what it's called, but I was like, that is such a great movie for us to get out for homework for our femmes, because it breaks down how to make money and how to, what the credit card industry is, how banks started. It's really, really, and they have cartoons, so it makes it really entertaining. It's an adult show. It's not like animated, but they do a great job with illustration. Let's go to Stephanie. Stephanie, what is your number one tip?
I love that, Violet. I want to definitely figure out that Netflix show, because what I always tell people is, we got to stop beating ourselves up about the money stuff. We feel this guilt and shame and embarrassment, and yet no one teaches us this stuff. Maybe Netflix will come to the rescue. But of course, we're going to get ourselves into financial difficulty because our brains are wired to, want to consume. We live in a consumer economy, and we're not taught how to use this stuff. So a little grace, a little self forgiveness is important. And I do want to say, I totally sympathize with the idea of, like, you just feel like there's not two pennies to rub together, especially if they're kids and they're outgrowing their darn shoes every 3 weeks, it seems, right? And there's a school fee for this and a new activity. It just feels like there's nothing extra. So I heard this crazy idea. A colleague of mine did it a couple of years ago. She did a no spend month. And it wasn't like, oh, I can never buy myself another thing again. It was like, for this month, Carol mentioned June, right? So if June's coming up, I'm not going to do any discretionary stuff. And maybe it just means, like, you push it to July if the kids need a new pair of soccer cleats, or, you try to buy it in May. But if you can try to do that chunk of time where you're not spending, obviously you're going to pay your mortgage, you're going to pay your utility bills, but all that kind of extra, if you can get the family to buy in to try a no spend month, it's really can be very eye opening, and, seeing what's going out that you didn't really realize. And if that's too much, I totally get it. That might be hard. Maybe take on the discipline of writing everything down. Write down every single thing you spend. And I'm a fan of, don't do one of those automatic things that tracks it for you, because that's passive and that's kind of backward looking. Take a little notebook and carry it around with you and write down physically with a pencil and paper every time you spend money. And that, again, just brings a little bit more awareness and intentionality to where your dollars are going. And maybe you find something, right? I recently found my son signed up for a gym membership. Okay, only $10 a month, but he's been out of the state for 3 months and they're still charging him the $10 a month. We often have things like that we don't even remember we're paying. So don't forget, when you're writing down your spending, the invisible stuff too, right? You got to check those automatic things that are happening maybe on your credit card or your debit card. But again, that awareness, I think, will help you realize, oh, maybe there is $5 I can stick away, or $10. So to put it in that savings account for a rainy day, because it's that savings that's going to help you avoid using the credit cards in the future when something unexpected comes up, because I promise you it will.
Yeah, I love that. I love all three of you have shared. When our son went away for his first study abroad program, he had a batch of money. And I remember having that conversation with him, like, and let's just, for ease, it's like $300 and you're there for 3 months. And so we divided it into the days, and I had him write down every day what he was using and spending on, so that he could track and see, almost like an old style check. Remember our checkbooks? We would write like our checks and our line items. I mean, I haven't felt one of those in forever, but just doing that. And so if you have a daily budget, I think his daily budget was like $10 or whatever it was, figuring out then, if I had $2 for breakfast, then I had that. But if I didn't use that, then I could loop it over into the next day. And it really made him conscious, tactile, like just writing it out and making it real. It's almost like when you use cash, like that feeling of like using cash where you're like, it's just a little bit more pain than that credit card, just like handing it over. But by the way, the series is called Money Explained. I had to look it up because it was driving me crazy. Money Explained. I think it's a great, I think we watched like 2 or 3 of the episodes. Fantastic way to connect with money. And I know, and I'm open about my money story. I have hit rock bottom a couple of times. And I know sometimes we're in a really bad state financially, and we just don't want to look at it, because it'll eventually, we think, just happen to go away, and it never does. It gets worse and worse. So if you're watching this right now and you're feeling like you do need to do this, but there's a lot of stuff you got to get through, you've got to review your numbers, going back to just give yourself grace, just go through it. It's not going to go away. The faster that you address it, it will actually make you feel a lot better, because you'll realize, you know what, I know now what it is. I'm going to create a plan to get out of it. I'm going to stop spending, watch my dollars, do what Dawn said, Carol said, and Stephanie said. And it does start feeling really good when you start saving, when you start putting away like the $10 and then the $20 and then the $30. It really becomes almost addicting to see how much you can put away. It makes you feel really good on the inside. But you have to kind of just get through that icky part if you're in a really bad state. But we're here to tell you that you can do it and that it will be worth it. Life will make it easier, and you'll sleep better too. All right, so final advice. Carol, final advice, and then how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Great. So as business owners, especially as ladies, we tend to underprice our services. And that's one way we are missing out on money. Because sometimes we may lower our price. And by lowering our price, we have just gone into a different market. A market who may not even buy from us. So by remaining at the price that we need to be, that aligns with our value, we may be hitting a totally different market of someone who may say, yeah, I like what he or she has to say. I'm going to invest in that program. I'm going to invest in that product. So be true to yourself, look at your value, and list your price accordingly. And I think that's another great way thanks, Dawn, another great way of having excess savings. So you can reach me. I'm on Facebook as Carol Ward. And soon to be, I'll have my website. As of next week, I'll have my website. And you can also, reach me on Instagram, Carol Ward CPA. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Dawn. Dawn, your final tip, and how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Sure. Well, there's only one other option would be to increase your income. And right now is the best time ever to increase your income because restaurants are like dying for work. So you probably don't even need to have experience. Just show up and you'll have a job and a lot of cash. So that'll help you get out of your situation a lot quicker too. And like Violet said, the more money you have coming in, you're able to save, like that's going to help with your overall mind being and everything. You could find me at my website, DS Financial Strategies. You can find me on social media, Facebook under DS Financial Strategies, my personal page, Instagram, my YouTube channel, DS Financial Strategies. And I look forward to connecting with you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dawn. And Stephanie, what is your final advice, and how can femmes find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
So here's another maybe crazy idea, right? If you don't have time to go out and get a job like Dawn was saying, right? What do you have around the house that you're not using anymore? Is there a way you could sell your kids' old cleats? Even if it's for just a couple of dollars, right? Make it a game, have everybody in the family find something that they don't think we need anymore that you could try to sell for a little bit of money. I mean, the internet has made that stuff actually easier to do. You do have to dedicate the time and effort into it. And then you have to make sure that you're going to put that money towards the saving, towards the kickstarted. So my company is Sophia Financial. That's SOFIA financial.com. My podcast, aimed specifically at women, is called Take Back Retirement. And we'd love to have you listen in and give us some feedback.
Love it. Thank you so much. And we had some love that came through. Nicole said, completely agree about the pricing, Carol. And then she also added, yes, increase your income. Let's go. So Nicole is another FemCity Global member. She runs our Dallas chapter, and she taught a class last week on multiple streams of revenue. And that was a great class also. And oh my gosh, we had another class on the same topic as well. I think it was Shelly. Shelly was taught a class about how to leverage and repurpose content to generate more revenue. So if you're watching this and you like this conversation and you want to kind of dive in a little bit more, I highly recommend those two classes that we had last week. They're in the FemCity library. Just go to the FemCity portal. And Tammy, another FemCity Global member, said such great tips. Thank you all. Tammy's also a guru when it comes to repurposing content and developing revenue with that as well. So anyway, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today. For those that are watching or will watch, please let us know how these tips helped you. We can't wait to hear about your success. Feel free to tag us, comment, reach out to any of us, and we are cheering you on. If you've never experienced FemCity, we invite you to try it out. Head over to femcity.com. We have a free 30-day trial, so you can take it for a spin. And we will be back next Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and again next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, so you can catch us live or in our podcast. And thank you so much, ladies. Mwah! Bye.